Hi, we are live, everyone. Royce Eddings here, and this is the Royce in the House YouTube channel. And I want to welcome you all. Thank you all for joining us. And I'm looking forward to doing one of my favorite bands of all time, The Doors, is what we'll be discussing tonight. Excuse me. I became a fan of The Doors when I was a teenager in the late 60s. I have loved The Doors from day one, and they've always been a favorite of mine. I don't have a lot of their music right now. I had probably everything on CD at one time, and other I've had 8 tracks. I mean, I go way back, right? But I've got 3 albums that I'll be pulling out and talking about tonight. So anyway, The Doors. I'm really looking forward to this. I'm going to put a link up if someone wants to join me. Come on here and talk about The Doors. So let's see. Here comes the link. I can see we've got a lot of people joining us. We've got Caitlin Stoddard, Gloria. Hello, Gloria. Good to see you here. James Watson. Dr. Rick is here. My buddy, Dr. Rick. Thanks so much for joining us. Sir James, Eric Schultz, Caitlin, of course. Let's see. Am I missing anybody? Okay. Well, people are continuously joining us. But anyway, I have a link up. Someone wants to pop in, and I see that I have my second co-host of the night.
And see, I'm dressed appropriately. Whoops.
James Bowie, Sinatra, Lennon.
And I got the Doors t-shirt on for you.
Thank you. The reason I called you my second co-host for the night, because right here, right over here is Monroe, the vinyl unicorn.
Nice.
Monroe was with me from the beginning when I was just unboxing a few albums and things like that. Okay, look at this. We have Caitlin's Magical Corner.
Hello, Kate.
I was trying to be James. I was trying to be my co-host.
Okay. So anyway, like I said, Monroe the Vinyl Unicorn, she was my original co-host, and I have a unicorn outfit for her. But it was hard stuffing her. She fought me when I tried to put her legs through it and her head through it. And so she was always biting me while I was trying to do that. But she looks so damn cute in it. So anyway, I don't try to put it on her anymore. Okay, folks. So are we all Doors fans here tonight?
Yes, we are. And I got some stuff to show too after.
Well, I can't sustain my balance next to my elbow. But I'll have something to tell you once my turn.
Okay, well, yeah, we'll go around the horn, and everybody gets to talk. And the Doors were formed in Los Angeles in 1965. Okay, with vocalist Jim Morrison, keyboardist Ray Manzarek, guitarist Robby Krieger, and drummer John Densmore. Okay, they were among the most influential bands of their time in the 60s. Okay. And I know that Jim Morrison, I've done a couple of shows, as Caitlin knows, on Laurel Canyon, one of my favorite topics. Yep. And right behind the store at the bottom of the canyon, where if there wasn't a party going on where everybody was hanging out, they'd go down to the store. And if there was nobody at the store, then they'd go across the street to the Whiskey A Go-Go. And Jim Morrison lived right behind that store. And with his girlfriend. Jim lived back there with his girlfriend. Okay, so they're really an important figure. The Doors are in the counterculture era, and that was the era I grew up in. I was a little bit young, I mean, I was in high school, when Led Zeppelin came out with their first 2 albums in 1969. I was already a Doors fan and a fan of so many other rock bands. The Cream, Cream Disraeli Gears. Who did I just cover? I just covered Creedence Clearwater, all of those bands. I was a huge fan of all of those bands. So anyway, the Doors, I was a huge fan of the Doors. I had Doors 8 tracks when I was a teenager. And so they came from Los Angeles. They got all hooked up in Los Angeles. And after signing with Elektra Records in 1966, the Doors with Morrison recorded and released 6 studio albums. Okay, I've got 3 of those 6. Now, there were 8 studio albums in total. Okay, but 2 of them were made by the remaining members of the Doors after Jim Morrison died at the age of 27 and sadly wind up joining the 27 Club, you know, with Jimi Hendrix and so many others, Keith Moon, but Janis Joplin. There's just a huge group. Kurt Cobain, Nirvana. Kurt Cobain is a member of the 27 Club. Oh, look at this. We've got Hop Frog here. I'll try to get a couple of the messages from our friends in the chat here. Yeah, there's our buddy Hop Frog. Groovy Lisa's here. Yeah, people, check out Groovy Lisa's show, Hop Frog show. Caitlin Stoddard, and of course Sir James. They all have podcasts. And Hit Space 80 is here. We were talking earlier about some of the little polls I put up. Royce, I hope you're doing well. The Doors rule. Oh my God, don't the Doors rule? I think you chose the song "The End" as your favorite, and that is a huge favorite of mine too. It's just haunting. It's just beautiful. It's heavy. I mean, it really. I mean, it hits me right in the chest. That song. It's the kind of song you see when you're watching like a Vietnam War movie, like Platoon or something. You'll hear that song play. It's just a heavy song. Piccolina the cat is here. Hi, how you doing, Piccolina? Good to see you. Friend Eric Schultz is here.
Eric.
Like Groovy Lisa. Hop Frog. Michael Chavez is here. Hey, brother. Good to see you, man. We'll go through the chat a little bit, then we'll get back to what we were talking about, which is the Doors. But I think I'm going to go quickly read the 6 studio albums that were done with Jim Morrison, not the 2 that were done after his death with the remaining members of the band, which had some success as well. Okay, so the very first album the Doors did is their self-titled album, The Doors. And I tell you what, you talk about a bunch of iconic songs. I don't know if this has ever been topped. Break On Through to the Other Side, Soul Kitchen, The Crystal Ship, 20th Century Fox, Alabama song, Light My Fire was big. Backdoor Man, okay. I know some people have their own opinions on what that's about. But what I understand is this was about, wives actually having affairs on their husbands. They called them backdoor men. They might be, tradesmen or delivery men or something. The husband would be out working, and the wife would be home alone, and somebody would show up to do some work there at the house or something, and they were called backdoor men. And that's actually what, believe it or not, what Jim Morrison was singing about. I didn't know that until I read it. I was thinking something completely different.
That's really cool, though.
My dirty mind was thinking something completely different, right? Hey. What did I say? It was okay. Let's move on. Okay, so side two starts out with Backdoor Man. Then it goes, I Looked at You, End of the Night, Take It As It Comes, and then the iconic The End. This is the end, the only end, my friend. I absolutely love this album. Okay, so. Okay, their second studio album. Fortunately, I have that one also. And it is just a great album. Strange Days. Okay. And what a fun album. There's a sign right here that says Strange Days on the wall. And then you've got, well, I won't pull the album out. There's no need to. I would have pulled the first one out. It's red vinyl. Okay, this starts out Strange Days, I love that song, when you're strange, faces come out of the rain. Your lost little girl. This next song, track number 3, I really love, and it's called Love Me Two Times. I used to play that. I used to play that on the acoustic guitar. I almost forgot about that song, and I haven't even tried to play it in I don't know how long. But Love Me Two Times, baby. Love me twice today. Love me 2 times, girl. I'm going away. Hey, we had Jeff Davidson.
Hey,
here. Jeff Davidson. Foxo Chaco. How are you? Okay, Michael Chavez has got something to say here. The mono version of the debut album had to have been mastered for the AM radio. It even sounds bad. You know what? I think I have my Doors. This is mono. That's you can read it, can't you? Mono.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so that and I just listened to all three of my Doors albums earlier today, and this one, of course, is on Strange Days, but it's mono, and this is I highly recommend this album. You know, Arrival is my favorite, which is the first one. You got Moonlight Drive, People Are Strange. I love that song. My Eyes Have Seen You. I Can't See Your Face in My Mind. And When the Music's Over. What a great song that is. When the music's over, turn out the lights. And I always think it relates to death, but I don't really know that that's a fact. And then, okay, the third studio album was Waiting for the Sun. I don't have a copy of that. The fourth studio album was The Soft Parade. Both great albums. I don't have a copy of either one of those. The fifth studio album, 5 out of 6, was Morrison Hotel. And I do have a copy of that. There's Jim Morrison in the front. It says rooms 258. Okay. And this is a really, really good album. Another one I would really recommend. And I do plan on getting all the rest of them. I actually thought I had more than I do. But this is just epic right here. It starts out, well, first of all, since it's a gatefold.
Oh, that is great.
Wow. I love that.
Yeah. Yeah, I do too. This is great. I love the gatefold.
That's a great shot of Jim.
Yeah, a great shot of Jim. Exactly. I'll run through the track list on this real quick. I love these. Roadhouse Blues. That's ranking pretty high in the poll I put on earlier, where people could vote on their favorite Doors song. Waiting for the Sun. You Make Me Real. Peace Frog.
I love Peace Frog.
Hop Frog. Did you hear that? Peace Frog.
Yeah.
Eric Schultz. Well, Eric's, look at that. My copy of Self-Titled, I think, is an OG I got for $1.99. We need to talk. There was an episode of Miami Vice where they are looking for someone dangerous in the Florida Everglades. The sound goes all silent. Then we hear, My Eyes Have Seen You. That's really cool. Thanks for sharing that, Eric. Hey, my good buddy, Steve Midtham. Remember Steve, Caitlin?
I do. I already said hi to him.
Oh, you know that. Hi, Steve.
Well, I haven't forgotten about Steve. We love Steve. He's awesome.
Yeah, no, he totally is awesome.
He is awesome.
Him and my good buddy Robby Detroit go back a long ways too. You know, Robby Detroit's dad worked for Elvis, and he has his dad's collection, and he's got a channel too, and he's done really well with his Elvis stuff on that. Okay, Jeff Davidson, that little fella on the front cover is named Miku, and he was Michael Jackson's best man when he married Lisa Marie. You got to be kidding me. No kidding.
Wow.
Well, I tell you, I might be doing the Beach Boys next week because I watched the Beach Boys not a documentary, but it was a 2-part movie. Hi, Lisa. How are you?
Hey, Lisa.
Good. I thought I'd show you. Let me take off my very small Doors collection. Excuse the mess. I know I have a mess. Wait, I have a mess. I'll be back in 5 seconds.
You're forgiven.
But I'll show you my very small Doors collection.
Okay, I'm gonna finish reading to this list then. Okay, Roadhouse Blues, Waiting for the Sun, You Make Me Real, Peace Frog, Blue Sunday, and Ship of Fools. Side 2, Land Ho, The Spy, Queen of the Highway, Indian Summer, and Maggie McGill. Okay, so those are my three Doors albums: the self-titled album, The Doors, Morrison Hotel, and let's see, Strange Days. And I love that song, Strange Days, too. Okay, and so the one that I haven't mentioned yet, which is a great album, is L.A. Woman. I thought I had that, but I couldn't find it. Now there were two studio albums released after Jim Morrison died at the age of 27. Okay, and one of them was called Other Voices, and the other one was called Full Circle. Other Voices 71, Full Circle 72.
I mean, what did you think of Ray Manzarek when he took over the Doors when Jim Morrison had passed away? Did you think?
You know, I could not listen to anything.
Me too.
Being called The Doors after Jim Morrison died.
Yeah.
I mean, Jim Morrison's voice was so unique.
Yep.
And so damn good
Yeah.
that I just couldn't bring myself to listen to anything else.
One of my favorite performances that the Door did is when they did that Hollywood Bowl performance. And they did like the.
Oh, I do not.
But I'll show you my very small Doors collection, which
go
is
for
only
it.
3 records.
All
First
right.
we got self-title, and then we have a compilation, 13.
Okay.
We have Strange Days.
Strange Days, love that
And then
album.
we've got a record store day record.
Oh.
This is The Doors, Let's Feed Ice Cream to the Rats, San Francisco, California, March 7th and 10th
Right.
of 67.
Okay.
I saw this at my record store, and I was
Wow.
like, let's pick it up. It was there.
Right,
It came at
right.
like about,
Nice.
it came at about 12 p.m., and it was still there. So I
Okay.
was like, okay, it was meant to be. But The Doors has a release this year for RSD. I'm trying to remember what it was. But yeah, I know they did one for Morrison Hotel. Like probably 2 years ago, and it had all these different outtakes and extra tracks. I don't know if any of you guys picked it up, but I heard it was really good. Yeah.
Okay. Is that your collection?
That's all I have because
Okay. Yeah.
I don't have a big collection, but I have enough Doors where I think I can show it off.
Gotcha.
But,
no, same here with my 3 albums, 3 studio albums. I want to get the other 3 though. And the greatest hits album by the Doors rates really high too.
Oh yeah, I like because I got the self-title for like $1.99 at Amoeba Music in Hollywood, and I was like, wow, $1.99.
Right.
It still has the price on it saying $1.99.
Right. You know, I loved what Dan Goucher, I had it up on the screen earlier, what he said earlier. He goes, the Doors were so great, you can keep changing the rankings and it's never wrong. And that's
Davis backstage, by the way.
Hey, Dusty.
Oh, wow.
I don't know the funny chick with the beret.
Dave,
how's it going?
Good. I'm glad you joined us.
Yeah, I'm glad too.
You know, but Dan Goucher is so right about changing your rankings, which one you like the best, best to worst or whatever.
I know.
It changes
a
lot.
I feel that way about Led Zeppelin. I have a hard time staying consistent with my. I did a ranking of Led Zeppelin's top 20 songs, and I did a ranking kind of back to back, a week apart, of all of their studio albums. I ranked those.
That is hard to do because they're good albums.
If I did it again today without looking at the old one, it'd probably be a little bit different. Yeah, when
I saw you were talking about the Doors, I was like, I got some Doors to show. Something I actually have in my collection that I can show in the stream.
Right.
Because I've been listening to the Doors since I was a little kid. The first song I ever listened to was Light My Fire when I was about 6 or 7. My dad had, this old Acura Integra, and he used to always play the Doors in the car.
Gotcha.
Yeah, my parents love them.
Right. No, and I did too. I
love that album.
We got Waiting for the Sun.
Waiting for the Sun. Nice.
I need to get that one.
I've got almost everything on CD. I only have 2 albums, and the other album I have is this one here.
That's great.
Absolutely Live. It's a double album.
Nice. That's
awesome.
I know they redid that for RSD, Absolutely Live.
I heard they did. Yeah, this is an original one.
Yeah.
It's got the
Soft Parade anywhere but 6 is wrong. You're exactly right, James. Soft Parade needs to be top 5.
But I know what you mean. There's so many great songs. You have a favorite, and then you go, "Oh, I like this one better than I like this one."
Right,
still,
right.
I'm gonna say that Crystal Ship has always been my favorite.
Oh,
it's just
Crystal
one of those
Ship, 20th Century
songs.
Fox.
Yeah,
Century Fox.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, go ahead. I want you to show you the rest of your albums and stuff.
Oh, I only have just the 2.
Okay.
I feel like when
the Doors got started, they had a little residency at kind of a sleazy place in LA. You know, it was rundown, sleazy Los Angeles club called London Fog. And at some point they got into a more esteemed place, the Whiskey A Go-Go. Now that was different. They kind of became the house band for Whiskey A Go-Go, and they would open for people like say Van Morrison was coming to play the Whiskey, who was already a star, they
Yeah.
would open for him, and then they would actually play together too, and which often happens, you know, when two bands are playing, they take turns, and then but it was like 1966. They were spotted by Elektra Records president, Jack Holzman, who was, he was actually recommended to go see them, and he did. And so him and producer Rothschild saw 2 sets of the band playing at the Whiskey A Go-Go. They signed them to a recording contract, and they did get eventually fired from the Whiskey A Go-Go because of, Morrison could get a little carried away, explicit lyrics.
Yeah.
Maybe even take clothes off.
Yeah, I remember on the Ed Sullivan show, he tried to get away with something.
Okay, so then after signing with Elektra Records in '66, the Doors with Morrison recorded and released their 6 studio albums in 5 years, and that's pretty impressive. And we just went through those 6 studio albums.
Yeah.
So we don't need to go through that list again. But Jim Morrison died at 27 years old under uncertain circumstances, and we've all seen the movie, and it was a great movie. I thought the portrayal of Jim Morrison was just, I couldn't hardly tell the two apart. I don't know about you guys.
Yeah, he did a good job.
Yeah, my dad went to see his grave when he passed away in France. I believe it was Nice, France. So he went to pay a visit to him when he passed away.
Oh, he did. That's cool.
Yeah, and people have been talking about years about, I think, having his grave moved to the Hollywood Forever Cemetery.
Okay.
But I think it's still in France, because when my dad went to see the grave, he had just passed away, and my dad wanted to pay his respects. And he was young. He didn't, he wanted to, he just wanted to see it. But now he can't, obviously. But it's just crazy to think that he was 27 when he passed. We lost so many great people at 27. Jimi Hendrix.
Oh yeah, the 27
Amy Winehouse.
That's another one I forgot. Yeah.
Kurt Cobain. I'm a huge Nirvana fan.
Janis
I
Joplin.
love Nirvana. Janis Joplin. Oh, it's just a massive list. I've actually did a show. I did a show on the 27 Club.
It's just crazy to think about it. If Jim Morrison was alive today, all the great people he would have collaborated with. He's definitely in the top 5 vocals for me, along with Freddie Mercury, Steve Perry, John Fogerty. Definitely in top 5 vocals.
Oh, I love his voice was just amazing. That's why I said after he died and the remaining members came out with a couple of studio albums, I got to say hi before he disappears on the screen here. French vinyl addict Romy, just a great guy. His show's taking off. And you're welcome to join us if you'd like to. Certainly like to have you on.
I love Love. Love is great.
Yeah.
I only have Forever Changes.
I've got a link up if anybody else wants to join us, Rami or
French
Vinyl Addict or who did I see up there too? I saw Dusty Spins, was it?
Yeah, Dusty's here.
Yeah, Dusty Spins. Yeah, Dusty's here too.
Yeah.
So any guys want to join us? I can hold 6 people.
I just feel like when a band member
I think I could hold 10, but
I feel like when a band member dies, the band wants to try to preserve the legacy. That's probably what it was. They wanted to preserve the legacy of the Doors.
Chris.
So they thought they could continue it on.
Right. Thank you. Hey, we've been joined by a co-host, regular co-host, Chris Elliott. How you doing, Chris?
Hi, Chris.
Good. Do you like the Doors? Are you a Doors fan?
I think he's a Zeppelin.
Oh yeah. Well, he's a fan of a lot of people.
I like Zeppelin too. I love Zeppelin too.
Yeah, I love Zeppelin.
I can talk for hours about Zeppelin. Don't even get me started. Don't get me started with Zeppelin.
Caitlin, not too bad, thanks. Good, Romy. So anyway, like I said, we've still got some room here if someone wants to join us. The link is up.
All right.
The link is up.
You
Mother, I want to what?
Brian Jones. I forgot about Brian Jones. Yeah.
Led Zeppelin's my favorite group, but my brother's favorite group is the Doors, so I listen to a lot of that.
Yeah.
Nice.
My brother.
Yeah, the Doors are great. I remember taking off 17 years old. Me and a friend left Las Vegas and headed for Mexico, listening to Riders on a Storm for just hours.
Oh,
Right.
Riders on a Storm. I love playing that song when I'm going on a long road trip. That's my
Mhm.
mom's
Yeah,
favorite Doors
it's
song.
it's a great song, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, Riders on the Storm is the classic.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Just
oh
the
yeah.
sound of
It
the
is.
instrumentation
It
is
is.
magical on that
Because
song.
I remember my dad had told me he almost went to Woodstock in '69, but he didn't go.
Yeah,
His
we were
friend.
we were a little young. You know, I think I was 16 years old when Woodstock was happening. But
I was too.
My dad was 20.
I
My
was a little
dad,
young too.
I might even have been 17. But you know, here look at Romy saying thanks, Royce, but he's still in the grocery store. Maybe later.
come on.
Okay,
You know,
well,
Yeah, that's
well,
okay.
we'll be
Yeah,
here. We'll be here.
Hey,
hey,
Oh, we
Royce,
got-
you could have snuck with somebody who's older in a car and gone there.
Well,
My dad
well,
was
you know,
29.
I hear you
Yeah,
there.
I would have had death
I hear
waiting
you.
for me at home, but I tell you what. But after that happened, we went looking for the next Woodstock. Okay, so we're like 16, 17 years old, and somebody says, "Did you hear about Laguna Beach out in the hills? They're going to have the next Woodstock." And oh my God, we freaked out. So Zeke Trek, how you doing, brother? So we freaked out, and my buddy Jason, we all had we had long hair and we
Yeah.
got high and stuff, but we drove lowriders too. We didn't know how to act in Vegas. We were a mix of everything. So we're too far from California to know it was really cool. So anyway, my friend JC White, the guy, we called him Clickety Clack. He's about 6'7", probably weighed 140 pounds, and you could almost hear his bones when he walked. Clickety clack, clickety clack. And so that was his nickname. So he had what we call the Pink Panther. It was a Plymouth. He painted it pink and did red cobwebbing on the top, and it was sitting lowrider California style with the front end up higher. But you had to really go slow over any little curb because it would drag. So we went, oh my God, we're going to go to Laguna Beach to the next Woodstock. So we took off and we hauled ass to California, only to find out that we were a week late. It was the previous weekend. We got wrong information.
Oh no.
Wait, there was a Woodstock that
So-
weekend?
And so I tell you, but here's the thing: people came from all over the country, all coast to coast, because they heard it was going to be the next Woodstock. So when we got there, half those people were still there. I mean, it was like a
Dang.
zoo. It was
I
like
mean-
like the kind of zoo you'd want to be at if you were
Right.
16 or 17 years old.
You know what you should have gone to? You should have gone and saw Jimi Hendrix at Monterey Park. That joke is never gonna die.
Hey, we've been joined by Blood Sucking Freak. How you doing, brother?
Hey, blood
He's one of my
sucking
friends
freak.
from Discord.
Okay. So anyway,
Okay,
so crazy stories about Laguna when we were there. We hooked up with some guy that was from our hometown. It looked like a brewery with a long hair and a robe and a great big pipe with about 10 hoses.
I could imagine
and then-
a young.
And
a
then we
young
pulled into the Taco Bell in Laguna Beach, and you can't make this stuff up. We pull in there, dragging the bumper in JC's lowrider, and we got mobbed. I'm not exaggerating. There must have been 100 people, long hairs in the parking lot, and they were all selling drugs. And we pulled in, and there were like arms coming through the window. What do you want? You want acid? You want weed? You want this? You want that? You want horse tranquilizer? You want whites? You want And everybody was just going crazy trying to sell us drugs. And of course, we were like, no, we don't do that. We're just here to get some tacos. Anyway, so there's more stories there, but I'm not going to go any further. So,
I can't.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm like, Harvey
We're
just
here
wanted
to-
it, but now Harvey wants to know.
we're here to talk about the Doors, not my silliness. back in the day.
Come
I
on,
know,
Caitlin. You can
yeah, I'm
remember. You
intrigued.
can remember. You can remember being a kid in the teenager in the '90s, Caitlin. You remember, right?
I'm going to
When they
throw
were
a few.
trying to
Yeah,
hype on
I
Molly.
hope so. Yeah.
I'm going to throw a few pictures.
All right,
up.
you guys were talking about the
never
Doors.
Great album.
Jim Morrison earlier.
Yeah.
My brother had a couple of their albums after Morrison died. I didn't like them, but
Yeah.
I saw them on tour twice with my brother. With
Oh, wow.
the guy from The Cure, the Cult.
Oh, Ian Astbury from the Cult. Yeah.
I
Yeah.
saw them twice with them, and it was pretty good. I mean, I wasn't expecting anything like the closest I've ever seen anybody put on a Jim Morrison show was the singer from Rival Sons when they opened up for Black
Oh, I
Sabbath.
like Rival
Oh,
Sons.
okay.
Their Rival Sons
Yeah.
is great. If you haven't heard them, they're kind of like bringing back that whole. I like bands that bring back the whole retro sound. Rival Sons is great.
Yeah,
They opened up for Black Sabbath, and they were as good as, or possibly even better than Sabbath. So.
Yeah, I kind of listen to some Sabbath. I kind of dropped off the chain after Ozzy left.
Well, you know, I've got a friend. He's actually godfather to my youngest granddaughter, and he's the drummer for Ozzy Osbourne. And when Ozzy Osbourne did the reunion tour, he drummed for whether it was Black Sabbath or Ozzy. He went with Ozzy, you know, and he's got his own album out. It's called Tommy's Rock Show. His name is Tommy Clefettis. And if you ever want to hear an amazing John Bonham, I mean, this guy really attacks the drums. I mean, Ozzy picked him, right, to play with Zeppelin and Sabbath. Just you know, do a YouTube search for Tommy Clefettis video, and he will blow your mind. He is such a fantastic drummer. I've hung out with him 2 or 3 times. You know, he came to a Christmas party that I was at. And he's been over at my daughter's house. Like I said, my granddaughter was my granddaughter is he's godfather to her, along with Eric Singer, from the drummer for Kiss. They're both godfathers. So I've kind of partied with both of those guys a little bit, and we have been joined by BSF. Let me get this. Hey, how you doing?
Hey.
How you doing, brother? Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Oh, don't tell me I'm on screen now.
You're in the dark though. You can barely see it.
Are you a Doors fan?
Give me a second. I have to freaking mute myself here somewhere.
No,
I know that guy right there.
We've also been joined by my good friend Paul, who's got a YouTube show called
I can't hear myself monitoring myself in delay. This is
I call Paul the BC Santa.
Okay, so
if you turn the sound off on YouTube, it should be all right.
I have to agree.
Let me check it out.
I have to agree with you, Eric.
You can't have anything else up at the top of your screen, or it gets...
But then I can't hear you guys.
Yeah.
Oh.
I have to agree with you, Eric. Break On Through is perfect. It's a perfect introduction into the Doors.
Great song. I agree.
And I also love Crystal Ship. I think that's great.
Thanks, Eric.
That's right. Break On Through to the Otter Slide.
I always say, if you want to get into Doors, this is the perfect album to start with. The self-title.
Oh, absolutely.
The self-title.
I agree.
Great. Or, just get a compilation if you just want the hits.
Yeah.
I have a compilation. That one you just showed is the best.
I mean,
Paul has.
Yeah.
Yes.
What a good compilation. I just picked this one up.
Showing,
Sorry,
okay, so Paul, let's see here.
All right.
Nice.
Yes. Now I don't know if you can see what it said.
Oh, mono.
Now, this is the one that people were asking, hey, if you ever find the album, put it on your stream. Well, this was a good excuse, right? So they ran out of mono jackets, so they stuck that there. Now, your vinyl, it's not in the best of shape, but it is definitely playable. I do not know if you can see. I know it's all turned around, but it is mono. But so help me God, I'd like to go back in time and go beat up Godfrey Bosco for putting his name all over the damn album.
I gotta say.
Look at this shit.
I gotta say. Godfrey. Did you get like a special edition of the Doors?
Hey guys, I got to tell everybody this. Daddy Boggs just joined us, and Daddy Boggs and I go back, I don't know, maybe 4 or 5 years now. And so is Caitlin.
Yeah.
We're all there together on another show. And Daddy Boggs, he was in a band that opened for the Doors. They were called the Hinges. That's a joke.
I thought he was in an actual group. I was like,
hey, Daddy Boggs, I got to ask you one thing. I've been watching these movies about the Beach Boys, and I got all excited, and I would love to do next week. People mentioned they wanted to see me have a Doors show, so that's what we're doing this week. And I love the Doors, and I was really happy that I was being asked to do that, because I did a Doors show before, but it's been a long time. But anyway, I want to cover the Beach Boys, Daddy Boggs, and I'm glad you're here because I wanted to track you down and ask you to come on the show. Daddy Boggs knows more about the Beach Boys than anybody.
I got someone that you should have on the show.
Okay.
His name is Mason M. Mason knows so much about the Beach Boys. It's crazy.
Yeah.
He's only 24
He
years
knows
old.
all the
Wow.
It's scary.
Paulina knows a lot too.
Oh, she does. Yeah, I haven't had her on in a long time. She's always welcome.
Yeah.
Well, you know what's funny is when I was about 14, 15 years old, all my cousins lived in Bakersfield.
Well, we can tolerate you, Bog.
We lived in Las Vegas. So what would happen is we'd go stay with we'd go from one family to another, my dad's brothers and sisters, and hang out with all my cousins and aunts and uncles. And my cousin Johnny, who was my age, he was a huge Beach Boys fan. And we would sit there, and at the time, I loved the Beach Boys too, but I liked the Beatles better. I mean, this is like in the mid to late 60s, 66, 5. And I was more of a Beatles fan than a Beach Boys fan. And we'd sit there and argue over who was better. We'd take turns naming hit songs. And it seemed like it always ended in a draw. And I was favoring the Beatles. He was favoring the Beach Boys. Anyway, a little side note there. But Daddy Boggs, join me next week, man. We need you. We need you.
How can you go wrong with the Beach Boys? In my room, I get around.
Oh.
Yeah. Don't worry, baby. Don't worry, baby is such a classic.
Surf's Up. Okay, so Eric Schultz was being introduced to the Doors with their third album, and that third album was Strange Days, which I showed earlier.
Yep.
Yeah.
For anybody that has not seen it, there you go.
Right. Okay.
Someone gave me that album.
Oh man, I thought Boggs might comp this one to me. He says I can't afford him to come on the show next week.
No,
just do it for Royce. It's not gonna kill you.
There's also another guy that knows a lot about the Beatles, Giggins, but I don't know if you watch his channel. I mean, the Beach Boys, Giggins.
No, I'm not familiar with him. I just want to say one more thing to Daddy Boggs. You know, Boggs, you beat me in a vinyl competition on that other show.
Yeah,
the very least you could do is come on the show.
There.
You were there? Damn it.
Come on, Daddy Boggs.
Come on the show, Donnie Boggs. Do it for the wee ones. Do it for the children.
No, if Michael Nolan needs to come on here, I'll get off so he can have his spot.
Is Michael down there looking?
No, I don't know.
He's not. I don't see him yet.
There's only 8 people up here so far. So.
I mean, I got.
So yeah, anyway, back to the point you're losing.
So how can I get that special edition you have, Paul? The one with all the autographs on it.
Well, like I was saying, Morrison died in 71.
That's what I thought too, but I didn't want to be.
What?
Oh.
Waiting for the sun. That's exactly right. I'm sorry.
Yeah, Strange Days is number 2.
Look,
that's what I was thinking too. I don't want to say anything.
Eric, we are not 100% correct with our facts. We say it to the best of our knowledge.
Well, it's kind of hard to read some of them upside down too.
Yeah.
But anyway, Daddy Boggs thinks I want revenge. I don't want revenge. I want friendship, brother.
This guy really wants us. This guy really wants us to talk about the Doors.
No. As a matter of fact, let's get back on the Doors. You know.
I got something Doors related here.
Oh, good.
This is a band called X. And actually what happened was they were playing in a bar one night doing a song called Soul Kitchen.
Ooh.
Right?
Oh, okay.
Great.
He goes, hey, they're playing your song. He talked to the band, produced him, and what's really cool is he's on more than half the songs on here doing some organ parts.
No kidding.
Nice. Yeah.
Wow.
So kind of cool, you know. Got that.
Oh, no, that's very cool. Very cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so Morrison died in 71.
Yeah.
Making him a member of the 27 Club.
Yeah.
And the band continued as a trio. Actually, three albums actually came out, but one was stuff that Morrison had recorded. So that's not really counting so much as the studio album by the new band.
That was what?
And they,
American Prayer? That one?
You know what
I'm referring to, I think.
I'm really not sure about that one. That's the only one that I didn't really get a name for. I don't know why.
It's okay. Personally, my favorite Doors member is John Stamos. I always thought he was.
It's Beach Boys, not Doors.
I know. I'm trying to be funny
You know,
here.
the Doors. The Doors were the were the first American band to accumulate 8 consecutive
Wow.
Gold LPs, according to the Recording Industry
awesome,
Association of America, the RIAA.
So,
They've sold. Wait, one
yeah,
second. They've
crazy.
sold 34 million albums in the United States.
Wow.
And over 100 million records worldwide,
Whoa.
making them one of the best-selling bands of all time. Okay, go ahead.
No.
Wow.
Go ahead, Lisa.
Did they ever chart on the chart? Like, what's the highest position they got on the Billboard charts?
On the Billboard charts. Well, let me see. I
Yeah.
think I have some notes down here.
Okay. Fire went to number 1.
They're listed as one of the greatest artists of all time by magazines like Rolling Stone, which ranked them 41st on their list of the 100 greatest artists of all time in '93. They were inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Okay, hold on. Let me pull you back out so we can all see. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. In 1998, VH1 compiled a list of 100 greatest artists of rock and roll. The Doors were ranked number 20.
Wow.
Number 20. In 2000, the Doors were ranked number 32 on VH1's 100 greatest hard rock bands of artists of all time. And Light My Fire was ranked number 7 on VH1's greatest rock songs, number 7. Okay. I mean, what an impact they had, for Jim Morrison having died such a long time ago. In 2004, Rolling Stone ranked the Doors 41st. I mentioned that already. Also in 2004, Rolling Stone magazine's list of the 500 greatest songs of all time included 2 of their songs. Light My Fire is number 35, and The End is number 328. I'd have moved The End up closer, but
yeah, I would move The End up way higher.
I love that song. It's kind of haunting like lyrics, but beautiful at the same time. It's just hard to describe it. Yeah, I do too. The Doors received a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame, and in 2010, Riders on the Storm was inducted into the Grammy Hall of Fame under the category of rock. Okay,
I mean, they should have been inducted a long time ago.
Yeah, they really accomplished a lot in their brief career, and no telling what might have happened, if they had been around for another 20 years. I mean, I absolutely love that band. I listened, like I said, to 3 albums today, the 3 that I showed, and I want to get all the studio albums, maybe the greatest hits album. And I've never heard a Doors album I didn't really enjoy.
Yeah, they just did great.
Now, who did we lose? Yeah.
I just read in the comments there. Dan mentioned that there's a greatest hits package that has in quad mix. This is the package I believe he's talking about here.
Oh, look at that!
What year did that come
46
out?
46 songs on it. The Blu-ray quad mix of the best of from 1973 version.
Ooh.
Okay.
And it's got all their singles. It's basically just their singles.
Okay.
There's 48.
Oh yeah, they released a lot of singles.
I'll have to look into that.
They really, yeah. Where'd you get that at?
My brother got it for me for my birthday or Christmas or something.
I probably might find out on Amazon. I'll look.
Was that a few years ago or more recently, or?
It's a 2017 release.
Oh, okay.
2017. Okay. Yeah, that seems recent, but God, time is just really marching by, isn't it?
Yeah, it's crazy to think that 2017 was 7 years ago.
Yeah. I know. Yeah.
Dan put on the chart. Dan, the quad album originated in '73. It's the remix of the '73 album on the Blu-ray audio.
Thank you, Eric. That picture was when I was about 38, 39. Yeah.
Okay, Daddy Boggs, James W. I'm friends with Al Jardine on Facebook, a top fan badge on Carney's page. Been on some Beach Boys related shows. I've been on some of those same shows with you. There was that one Beach Boys show, The Two Brothers, wasn't it, Daddy Boggs? And that was a fun show. I went on there 6 or 7 times, not on the panel or anything, but just in the chat. And those guys were a lot of fun. And
No,
Lisa, is that photo from high
no,
school?
that photo it was when I was 37 or 38 years old, about 3 years ago. Actually, no, wait. That photo was about 36 or 37.
Yeah,
That
Chris, thanks for showing that. Hey, I wanted to ask Psycho Platters. I keep missing your show. You know, I'm like doing something and I'll come across it, and it looks like you're doing very well.
I'm trying. I try to do the best I can with what I've got when I've got the time. I've unfortunately there's been some close to the family hospitalizations mixed with I haven't really felt 100% either.
I'm
so
sorry.
we're trying. Well, it's just the stupid crud that seems to keep getting recycled around the area. You know?
Yeah.
I was
it'll be
sick
all
for a
right.
whole. I was sick for a whole week. Well, I'm glad you're doing better. Your room looks different too. That's a different place. You used to have closets behind you.
I shoved it. I'm in here in the corner in the living room. Here is where I am instead of the kitchen where I normally go to.
Okay.
Yeah, I've got this nice work table. I can put things on here now. And
that's good.
I like the background, all the posters in the background.
I like you.
Music
love you too.
Sanctuary.
That's okay, Flood.
Thank you.
We love you.
Well, I love you guys too. I'm glad to be here.
I send you my wishes.
I'm glad you're here, Paul.
I send you
Sundays,
my wishes and prayers.
Sundays I normally work, but I mean, I keep forgetting that you usually come on after I get home from work. So I definitely want to clue on in that Beach Boys show next week too. All kinds of fun.
Oh yeah, no, I'm really looking forward to that. Really looking forward to that. And I know Daddy Boggs isn't going to let me down.
I mean,
of course, Boggs will be here for
well,
a
Boggs
Beach
will
Boys
show up. He'll show up if I don't go on the camera, so I'll be in the chat.
Mean, as long as you don't play Kokomo. As long as you don't play Kokomo.
Oh no, I love that. I love Kokomo.
I hate Kokomo.
There's worse songs than Kokomo. Trust me. There is.
Hey, Daddy Boggs, I just put a link up. Why don't you just come on and let's talk about it, okay? Look at
I want to hear about the Beach Boys.
Boggs is Saw Z.
No, Bob will tell you. Bob, get your booty up here.
Come on, Boggs.
Come on,
Boggs.
get up
Don't
here
be
with
shy.
us.
Yeah, see, you're in demand. They're not taking no for an answer.
I was on demand, but he needs to show up.
Hey, Boggs, don't make me come to the Boggs and get you.
Wasn't there some gore movie like that?
I tell you, I was at a Doors impersonator concert years ago called, and the name of the band was Wild Child, and I still see that he's out there somewhere. So we're in this club. It's not huge, but it sits up high and it overlooks the whole city of San Luis Obispo. And right now it's KSBY radio station. It had been a series of restaurants, and not every one of them was good.
You said next week.
Anyway, so yeah, go ahead. Oh, next week what? Boggs?
Next week. Yeah, he'll be out next week.
Okay, good. Thank you. Now this guy has a collection. I know he's been selling off part of his collection. He's been talking about selling. I don't know if he's really sold anything, but he's got a lot of stuff. And
yeah, he does. It's really cool stuff, actually.
But I was at this Doors impersonator show. It's a bad story. I probably shouldn't even tell it.
No,
and we're standing there watching him, and some guy jumps right behind my wife and starts doing all this boogaloo dancing stuff right close to her. And I looked over and I laughed, all good-hearted and stuff about it. And a few minutes went by. I looked over. He was still there. They're still there doing the same thing. And a few minutes went by, and I started kind of feeling almost insulted. And I don't do stuff like this very often. But I turned around and I shoved him so hard he slid backwards all the way across on his back, all the way across the dance floor.
Wow.
Yeah, and it was kind of a mean thing to do, but it was starting to get annoying at some point. I mean, the joke kind of was over for me, and he got up and doubled up his fist and came running across the dance floor. I'm like, okay, it's on. Then he stopped and then just melded into the crowd.
Yeah.
I kind of had eyes in the back of my head the rest of the night. But that Doors impersonator, the really reason why I brought this up, that guy was really, really good.
Ooh.
I mean, he didn't look a lot like him, like the movie that was out,
Yeah, there's some good groups that do impersonations like that Fab Four group. They're pretty good. I like them.
Yeah.
Fab Four.
Yeah, and I saw
and Le Pagan. Le Pagan's good too.
Yeah. I'm going to I got sent free tickets, 2 tickets to see this Queen tribute band
Ooh.
play. I just got
What's
those
the name
last
of
night. The tickets are in the glove box. I don't.
Wait,
I don't-
is that guy singing Eric Martel or what's his name? Is he singing? Because he can
Or
sing.
is it
That
called
guy.
Fat Bomb Guys? Because that's what's coming here. It's like male tribute band to Queen called Fat Bomb Guys.
No, that's not that one. No.
I am not.
I mean,
Fat Bomb Guys.
I didn't go looking for these tickets. It's just a place that I go to every once in a while. Send them to me.
Cool. Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
Me too.
Yeah.
Yeah,
okay,
I
cool.
love Queen. Don't get me started on Queen. I could talk
Yeah.
hours about Queen.
It's hard for me to go to some tribute bands, you know, especially like a Led Zeppelin tribute band. And I mean, maybe someday if I'm still alive when they're all gone, then maybe I'll have a different change of
No,
heart
well,
about it or
I
something
saw
like
it. I
that,
saw
but-
it for free, so I was like, "Oh, Led Zeppelin tribute band for free. I'll see it."
Yeah.
There's
There's a
you
band.
saw one just a while ago. Jason Bonham Experiences, a Led Zeppelin tribute band.
No, that was definitely a tribute band. You're right. Yeah, it
I mean,
was
it's not
Jason Bonham, an
Christian.
evening with Led Zeppelin, and it was a fantastic show. You know, they did an encore with A Whole Lot of Love, and that was like my introduction as a junior in high school to Led Zeppelin was A Whole Lot of Love. You know,
Yeah.
and
Wow.
it was just I actually filmed that whole song and
I
a lot of
love-
other parts to it too. But you know what was kind of another thing that was cool about that show, other than the fact that they just did a fantastic job.
Why would he
Very
get his
talented.
booty kicked, Caitlin? Queen is a fantastic band. I mean, come on.
But I went to that show.
I'll
and
let you do it, Caitlin. I'll let you do it.
there was an opening act for that show, and at the end of his performance, and he was really talented, really a talented young man, great stage presence, moves, voice, did an excellent job, very entertaining. And at the end of his performance, before his dad came on,
Mhm.
he started thanking his grandfather and his dad, and John Bonham was his grandfather, and Jason Bonham was his dad.
I mean, I like that Jason
Nice.
Bonham is continuing the legacy of his dad. I like that he's going out there and performing. I've seen videos of him.
Yeah.
That guy can really play.
Well, what's oh yeah, he's good. What's sad for me is that, you know, they did that tribute concert
Mhm.
with Jason Bonham. Led Zeppelin did with Jason Bonham for who was it? Oh God, either their manager or
Oh, the guy from Atlanta Records.
Ahmet Erdogan. Then
Yeah,
he's
from Atlanta
one of the Ahmet Erdogan. That's exactly right. And Jason Bonham played with them. Then they went into the studio, and everybody was anticipating a tour. And I think maybe Robert Plant pulled the plug on it. You know, him and John Bonham were really tight. You know, they came to the end of the band. They
Yeah.
joined the band together because they had a band called let's see, what was the name of that band? In
Band
fact,
of Joy.
Band of Joy. Thank you. They had a band called Band of Joy. And Robert Plant, when he got invited to join the band, he goes, "Okay, but you've got to take my drummer. Wait till you hear this guy." And they had Bonham come in and play. And yeah, they took him. They were happy to take him. That's an interesting story, all the interweaving stuff like in Birmingham, England, because John Bonham used to hang out with Black Sabbath, you know, and they were all from Birmingham and they were all friends, you know. And that's where I did a video called Black Sabbath and Led Zeppelin, the Lost Jam Session, when they jammed together, because these guys all knew each other, you know. And that was a really fun video. It really kind of took off. I think I got about 6,000 or 7,000 views on that one.
Wow, good.
Yeah, it was pretty
That's
damn
amazing.
popular. And it was a short too, 18 minutes long. It wasn't like an hour long thing. So anyway, so they were all friends, and and in fact, John Bonham was Tony Iommi's best man at his wedding.
Oh.
And I did a video on that too. And what's funny is it was just the two of them went out for Tony Iommi's stag night to get drunk the night before the wedding, right? And they went to the last bar right before closing time, and Bonham told the bartender, "I want 12 bottles of champagne. Line them up on the bar." And Tony goes, "Are you crazy? I'm getting married in the morning. I'm not going to drink all that." And what I understand is John Bonham drank them all.
Yeah.
And he was so drunk, Iommi, practically carried him to his house. They got to the gate,
God.
and Bonham's wife looked out and saw how drunk he was and wouldn't open the gate for him. "He's not coming in. He's not coming in." And so she finally, he says, "Come on, I'm getting married in the morning. You gotta let him in." So he took him in. He leaned him up against the heater, and he goes, "Are you all right?" And Bonham goes like this, and so he leaves, and he couldn't believe it. An hour before the wedding, Bonham showed up the next day with his tux, his flowers, his carnation, dressed to the T's in his suit for being the best man. And Homie said he just couldn't believe it.
Well, Eric wants to talk about the Doors. Here's a picture of the door in my room.
Ah.
I'm trying to be funny.
No, you are. You're like right on with all this stuff.
No, Eric is like, let's get back to the Doors. He's got to realize that sometimes we go off topic. It happens. It happens.
No, I know.
Dr. Rick wants to know what were your thoughts about the Doors movie.
I really enjoyed it. Okay.
Yeah,
I don't know. I don't know how close to the real thing it was, but I did enjoy it, and I thought that the actor that played Jim Morrison was just amazing, absolutely amazing.
Val Kilmer played. He played.
Yes.
I like Val Kilmer. I have to go see that. I've never seen
my
it.
stuff. I'm going to show you. I've got a little. I think I think out of all of you, I got some really cool stuff to show you.
Show us.
Well, let's see
it.
Might
want to make me big for this, so we'll start with the movies. I have it on Blu-ray.
Oh, you do?
Nice.
And then look at the resemblance there too. I mean, it's just amazing. Right? I want to ask Dr. Rick while he's showing this stuff. What did you think about the movie, Dr. Rick?
DVD.
Well, okay. That's cool, James. Yeah, look at what Dr. Rick said. He had to help them.
Oh, Dr. Rick, what did he say?
Sorry, James. Go ahead.
Oh, okay. So now we got the original album here, the first one. And this is Stereo Mine.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
And now we go to something Kate wants.
Yeah, Kate, and it's mine.
It's mine.
Dave
gave it to me for my birthday last year.
No fights here.
To the Doors. And look.
I have that, but show the vinyl.
Oh, white vinyl.
That's mine.
Yeah.
Ooh, somebody got James a good record.
Royce.
Yeah, I sent that to me and Jim.
LA Woman.
LA Woman, yeah.
Woman.
Yeah. I won't
LA
pass
Woman's
on.
my favorite song. Now we get into some really cool stuff that
James has more Doors than I do.
This is a box set that my friend copied for me with Sega George. And this one has Break On Through to the Other Side that's not edited. When on the Doors album goes, she gets doom, she gets, but this one has she gets high.
She gets high.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
This one's the first one. Then we have Strange Days.
Ooh, nice.
Yeah. Cool.
Waiting for the Sun.
No, you got everything.
The Soft Parade.
Yeah, James has got me beat.
Yeah,
Morrison Hotel.
That's a good album. That's a good
LA Woman.
LA Woman.
Great album too.
Singles Box.
Well, that's
Singles
a hell of a
Box 2.
Hell of a collection.
James, you saved the stream.
Greatest Hits double CD and box set.
Ooh, you got a long box. They call it long box.
That's fine.
I'm not going to open it because it'll take too long to show you everything in there. So I just, I don't want to take too long with that.
It's okay.
You have more, huh?
It's okay, James.
We really don't mind.
James,
I mean,
you want to see the side? Okay, I'll show you.
Because Eric wants to see more Doors.
All right. It comes with this leather-bound booklet, and it's got pictures of there's Jim, right there.
Yeah.
I'll go through these real quick.
Yeah, that's a good set, James. I got my brother that one.
This is the first album here.
Nice.
If I can get this out.
We
have this one, Live in New York.
Wow.
So it shows Jim on the first one, Ray Manzarek on the next one. Put these back in. Then we have this one here.
Don't even, James W. Don't even.
Wow.
And then the last
I'm gonna
one,
take Monroe out.
if I can get this one out. Here we
So
go.
these were official releases that they released?
Yep.
Ah. Cool.
Yeah,
And that's it.
Well, you have a very impressive
Plus, I
collection.
can freak 2 words for you. Alice Cooper. He knows. More than you think.
I don't know much about Alice Cooper. I just know.
No,
All right,
just
that's everything I got.
That's very cool. Very cool,
Yeah,
James.
thank you.
Yeah, thanks.
No
James,
problem.
I'm not,
James,
I don't want
are
to
you?
that.
Very, very nice collection.
I was really
You know,
I
I'm
know
pretty.
that.
I think I have L.A. Woman in my CDs.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. And I also like I like the song that starts off "L.A. Woman."
Yeah.
The Changeling.
Oh, that's a good one.
You know what's funny? One of his songs where he randomly just has different lyrics, and he goes, "You can eat your dinner, eat your pork and beans.
Pork and beans, right? I eat more
I
chicken
can
than any
eat
man
more
ever
chicken than any man's ever seen."
Right.
I love
Yeah.
that line. All right, you can
I
make
do
the song
too.
now.
That's Backdoor Man, isn't it?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a
Why
good
Van-
song.
Why Vandy Camps or Popeyes didn't attempt a commercial with one of those is beyond me.
I don't know.
I have an odd story, if it's okay. It's Doors related.
Okay.
I'll share it with you. It's kind of a little rated R-ish though, so you'll have to bear with me. So this story goes back up to Illinois. Okay, now I lived in Illinois for the first 40 years of my life. One of my dear friends, who unfortunately has now departed, so I really don't mind saying some of this story. Her name was Donna. Okay, that was her first name. And so the thing is that she was a big Doors fan back when the Doors were popular, of course, and they were still going. And you're going to have to forgive me. It's either the first tour or the second tour that hit Chicagoland, okay? So the venue that they were supposed to play in Chicago, literally 24 hours before the gig, they chained the doors shut. It had something to do with the city. It was really, really weird, but they're like, the band's on the way. Where the hell do we go? And so they took a proximity, and they figured out that to be able to hold the most people, they decided to have it in this big gymnasium in Wheeling High School in Wheeling, Illinois.
Wow.
So she happened to be a student that also happened to get into that show that day, okay? So needless to say, after the show, she was able to get back there. Now, she's about 16, 17 years old at the time. She manages to get to Morrison and, let's see, shows a little love and appreciation down under.
Oh, I know what you mean.
So that I heard, right? But here's the thing. You know that little game like 7 Degrees of Separation?
Yeah.
Excuse me.
Well, it's Jim Morrison. I mean, come on. It's
Right.
Jim Morrison.
Well, you're not going to like the next connection, though. Okay. So
Okay. Go on.
this has to do, like I said, with my friend Donna. So we flash forward to about almost the mid 1970s. Now she's working in an office, and she and another lady in the office was like, "Hey, Donna, let's go for a double date. For you, it'd be a blind date, though. It's another coworker that happens to be there. He's a little odd, but, I think he might be okay." All right, fine. They all meet in a mutual place. And needless to say, that particular date did not go quite too well, because he kind of gave her the heebie-jeebies from almost the get-go and managed to excuse herself early in the date. Well, that probably was best for her, considering that the coworker that was that mystery date was none other, oh boy, here it comes, but John Wayne Gacy.
What
No.
the fuck?
Wow.
No,
Sorry.
no.
The
Yeah.
clown killer?
Yeah.
The clown killer?
This is a couple years, of course, before he got caught. Okay, so he maybe didn't start it yet. Maybe didn't start it yet.
She dodged a bullet.
She dodged a bullet. Okay, so now how do I get connected to the story? How is my degree of separation involved? Because back in the early 2000s, I too was given love and appreciation.
By John? No.
Did you feel like Jim Morrison? Did you feel like you're Mr. Morrison at that point?
Well, I feel like this is the end. No. So
no, she felt like it was the end.
I could have gone all day without hearing that.
Doors. I know we're talking about Doors, but quick little side note here on Gacy. Okay, so Gacy, 10 years before, mid 1960s. Okay. He lived down in the Champaign-Urbana area, near, I think it was University of Illinois Champaign-Urbana down there, His John Wayne Gacy's brother was the student director of getting the bands to come to the school to perform. So who shows up on their first U.S. tour, and the last one for a couple years, mind you, was none other than the Kinks. That's right. What? So the Kinks go play at the Champaign-Urbana, the UI, whatever, So, remember, I told you it was Gacy's brother that was the one that was running the show pretty much backstage. But afterwards, the brother and John invited the band back to their domicile. Well, the brother was a little behind on things. So he's like, John, go start everything off, and I will be there hopefully in 30 minutes to an hour. Needless to say, the band is sitting there on a couch and some chairs. So Gacy goes off and gets them some drinks and doles out the drinks, but he's already acting a little weird. Okay, so I think it was the bass player. That'd be Pete Quaife. Am I right on this? I'm probably saying it wrong. So he manages to take one sip of this damn drink. He goes, "This don't taste right." And they all look at each other and they're like, "Let's get the hell out of here." And they all booked out of there.
Wait. The Kinks met John Gacy?
Yes, which back in the mid 1960s, because like I said, his brother was the director for the student director of the activity director for the U of I Champaign-Urbana. Yeah. See, the shit you never know you're gonna know, right?
That's a
yeah.
Well, who would have known that the Clown Killer met Kinks?
Yeah, you can make me small now. I was it.
Wow.
Interesting story.
I don't know if anybody else has heard this or agrees with it or anything, but I had in about the mid 90s, I had a guitar instructor, great guitar player. He played all over the area. But anyway, everything from country and western to, Led Zeppelin. Anyway, he was 100% convinced that Jim Morrison, Jimi Hendrix, Janis Joplin were all actually murdered by the FBI, under the
Gacy.
Well, no, and the reason for that, and the reason for him feeling that way was because, this was the Nixon administration. This was the administration that classified weed the same as heroin because they knew all the leaders of the counterculture smoked weed, and if they could arrest them, which they thought would be probably pretty easy to do, they could put them all in prison, right? And that was the only reason that was classified like that type of a drug. But anyway, so he believed that all of these Hendrix, Morrison, Joplin, and some of the others, they were kind of spokespeople for the counterculture. All of us young, long-haired, leaping gnomes, and we listened to them. I mean, they had influence, and so they didn't like that. They didn't like that these people had influence, and so as Johnny Banks had told the story, they were all actually killed, and I didn't think much about it when he told me that, but a few years later, I read some things and stuff, and I even did a show and discussed it, and I had a poll up. And everybody agreed, for example, Jimi Hendrix died of asphyxiation on his own vomit. And everybody in that poll agreed to that. And there's always going to be some little things that throw some doubt, but people weren't buying it. So I don't know. Has anybody else heard that, or anybody else believe that, or
I've heard that story. I've also heard about the Bob Marley being killed by the FBI story. That's what they say, that the CIA wanted to kill him and take him out because he knew too much.
A couple of months ago, the Bob Marley biopic, the movie about Bob Marley, was coming out, and the week before it came out, I did a movie about the Bob Marley biopic that was coming out, and it was I mean, he died of melanoma. He had really bad skin cancer. You know,
a rare cancer for African Americans. But
during a hotly contested political campaign in Jamaica, he was shot a couple of times.
Yep.
And so was his wife. Rita was shot, and a couple of other people were all shot. And they
all
lived.
That.
They all lived. And so anyway, so he left. He went to where was it? France for several years. And then finally came back. You know, came back like a hero. Everybody loves him there. I've been to Jamaica, and he's still huge. I saw his son Ziggy Marley in concert. It's been about 8 years now.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was really good. I got criticized by a Jamaican woman after I did that show, and she says, "What is it with all you white guys talking about Bob Marley?" She goes, "Why don't you leave us to us?" You know, and so we had a little debate on.
We might have to rename the stream. We might have to rename the stream.
I know.
To meet John Gacy.
Yeah, I had heard that Bob Marley was working for the FBI, and when he went to France, that's when he poisoned Jim Morrison.
Yeah.
To make it look like just kidding.
No, yeah, that happened.
I can see it now.
That's highly possible.
Yeah, he poisoned.
That's the most believable. That's the most believable one I've heard yet.
Or John Gacy went to France and poisoned Jim Morrison.
See, I mean, look at Dr. Rick says they were all on Nixon's enemies list. Yeah, they were.
Yeah.
Yeah, he didn't like that counterculture, you know. It was kind of crazy because I remember it vividly, and there was no Republicans, there was no Democrats, it was just them and us. And they hated us and we hated them back. Those were simpler times. Nixon's enemy list doesn't compare to Biden's.
Oh, we better not get into that. We better not get into that.
This is
we'll pass that one.
Definitely the no politics zone here.
No,
he's fire.
The FBI has done all kinds of shady things, but some people will blame them for everything: the bubonic plague, the 100-Year War, the Ice Age, and whatever else sounds halfway plausible.
Yeah.
Thank you, Eric. Yeah.
Thank you, Jeff. Negative.
Yeah, they do get blamed for a lot, don't they? Bob Marley should have been the Doors' new singer. There you go.
That was the plan after he went to France. But then they sent somebody to kill Bob Marley after that to cover up.
That's why they got Ray to sing instead.
Well, when Bob Marley came back, he'd been mixing with some punk stuff over there, and had kind of a little different sound. FBI killed OJ.
You know what? The FBI did not kill OJ. OJ killed himself.
Well, that's true.
That's a good one.
OJ was sick. So cancer.
Yeah, I remember.
There you go.
Well, you know what? My friend was sent tickets to a really important fight. What was it? It was Sugar Shane Mosley and Sugar Shane Mosley and God, I can't think of his name offhand. Right, the Golden Boy,
Oscar De La Hoya.
Oscar De La Hoya, yeah.
Yeah,
so we had really good seats to Sugar Shane Mosley and Oscar De La Hoya, and so we're there at the fight, and of course Rock Royalty walks in. Lennox Lewis, the current champion, walks in and circles the ring. Everybody's standing up and screaming and stuff, and just here's Thomas Hearns, and here's somebody else, and here's somebody else, and all these guys would stand up and kind of take a bow, and everybody was clapping. And all of a sudden, I heard all this commotion behind me, and I was sitting at the edge of the aisle, next to the walkway, and I heard all this stuff, and I heard somebody yell, "He did it! He did it!" And I turn around, and here comes O.J. Simpson walking down the aisle, and these brothers are there yelling, "He did it! He did it!"
No, you want to know what's funny is the place I used to work at was a high school, and you know who was a student there? and he would never show up to class? Oscar
Who's
De
that?
La Hoya.
Oh, really?
Oscar De La Hoya used to always be late for class, and the teacher was like, yeah, Oscar would show up to class late, or he would not show up to class. Oscar was not a very good student.
Thank you,
Because
Dr.
he was always fighting.
Well, you know, but he was he made a lot of money. Golden Boy Productions, they were promoting everybody for a while, practically.
I think so, Dan. I think so because when people pass away, Record Store Day tends to like to release a lot of stuff of theirs when they pass away. Like look at Prince, look at David Bowie. The Doors is always pretty much have a release every year for Record Store Day. I feel like when they pass away, they want to, you know, grab as much money as they can. And, you know, I'm guilty because I bought a Record Store Day release of The Doors.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, the ice cream one.
Okay.
It's, I don't know if it's a special color variant. It's this one. I bought it.
Oh,
I'm
nice.
guilty. I'm guilty.
Oh,
I
that's
bought
lovely.
Yeah, hold that up again. Let's take another look at that, Lisa. Okay, The Doors.
Wow.
Let's see if it's a color variant.
Well,
Oh, it's
Yeah,
yeah, it's San Francisco, California, May 7th and 10th at the Matrix. And this is how much it was limited to, which is a lot.
Okay. It's a lot,
So,
yeah.
I kept the hype sticker because, you know, I like to. But here's all the track listing in the back.
Okay, Moonlight
Of all the
Drive,
songs.
People Are Strange. Yeah, there's some cool stuff
I mean,
on that.
I mean, it's okay sounding. I wouldn't say it's the best sounding live record, but
Okay.
as you know, as much as they could go and you know squeeze out of the Doors, even when they pass away, they will continue to have door releases because there's a lot of unreleased material.
Oh yeah,
from the Doors.
yeah. A lot of stuff gets recorded.
They're actually doing another release for the Doors this year. I think it's live in Paris or something. Yeah, if you guys are into the Doors, you should check it out.
No, I love the Doors.
I mean, they're just going to continue to sell their stuff. They're going to continue to sell their stuff. When all the members pass away, when Robby Krieger passes away, yeah, it's never going to end.
Never going to end. Yeah.
It's never going to end.
He's the only one left, I think, isn't
Yeah, Robby Krieger's the only one left.
There's a lot of people there's a lot of artists that have a lot in their vaults. You know.
Yep. Yeah.
I know.
I mean, they're always doing something for Bowie every year. Something for
Until
Bowie.
you hear the barrels scraping.
Prince has probably got enough stuff for another 100 albums.
I mean, they're doing another Grateful. They're doing another Grateful Dead release. So yeah, it's just for all you TD fans.
I tell you, folks, we try to limit these to an hour. We're rarely successful, but I think we can.
Hey, Royce, someone fix the screen.
What?
Fix the screen.
I'm sorry.
Yeah,
I think
I'm like, why am I looking at her? What?
I think we're going to call it. I think we're going to call it a night, everybody. And I want to thank.
Yeah, John Densmore is still alive.
Everybody that came on and helped co-host, and all our friends.
I
in the
appreciate
it. So appreciated, Jeff. Really appreciate you, James, Eric, Dr. Rick, all of you. Daddy Boggs is here still. Special 2-hour show next week. Yeah, maybe so. You Boggs, you bring your Beach Boys albums. It may be a 2 hour.
Yeah, I'll enjoy.
And I won't complain one bit. So
don't make me
anyway, everybody. Once again, I want to thank everybody. Paul, Chris Elliott, Dave, Groovy Lisa, Kate, Sir James, me, everybody in the chat. I got to catch. I can't close the show without getting everybody's comments out here. Okay. We got Bloodsucking Freak, Michael Chavez, good night, Gracie, Dr. Rick, good night, all. Good night, Dr. Rick.
I'll have to dig up all my Beach Boy vinyls for next week.
You were all great. This was a fun discussion. Thank you, Eric.
Thanks for having me on the show.
Yes, thanks.
Yeah. And everybody hit the thumbs up button. Hit that like button.
Yes, please. Yeah, thumbs up's important. It gets us put in front of more people. The algorithm, yeah. Piccolina the cat.
That's the heart.
Thank you for being here.
That's cool.
Thank you for being here. Okay, everybody. Thank you so much. And that's what's going on in Royce's world tonight. And we shall see you all later. And thank you, Paul. Thank you for being here. Good night, everybody.
Bye.
Yeah, thank you.
This is the end.